Subscribe to my channel, please. I feel like I have to put the graphics like I see Ron and Sean do on my YouTube channels and say subscribe because nobody wants to subscribe to me. I know I have family and friends subscribing to me, especially my father and sister. Um, and I'm assuming my best friend, Governor. Um, I'm going to teach you about silence. And this is ironic considering I'm going to teach you about silence and I'm not silent teaching you about silence. Now, I'm going to think before I speak a lot in this one because I am under investigation by the government. And first thing I'm going to say about that is you don't fuck with the government. Second thing I'm going to say about that is they are smarter than you are. Third thing I'm going to say about that, the smartest men I've ever met in my life are drug dealers. Now, that's why I said the FBI is smarter than you are. I have a YBO, GBO best friend of mine from the mortgage business, and he doesn't have a name, right? And he is on house arrest for a long time for drug dealing, something that's public because he got arrested for it. He has a son that I believe was living with him, from what I heard, and I think they both got arrested, and a father will always talk his way into being the one because he was the one. Now, that's the end of that conversation there. My governor, best friend, brother from another mother, I've known him since I think 2003, and I've never once asked him why he became a governor, how he became a governor. He's never asked me once about KC and BK, my gangbanging years. My father constantly says, "Oh, why don't you ask him this question? Why don't you ask him this question? Why don't you ask him this question?" He doesn't understand that OGs and especially MODs don't ask each other questions. If you don't understand that you have to be a highly intelligent gangbanger to get away with gangbangs. FBI has my DNA. They have my fingerprints. I don't know why I had concealed carry fingerprints, but whatever. I guess they wanted to prove it was me compared to that. Highly intelligent people like the number one drug dealers of Mexico on narcos. Do you ever hear me talk about cartels? Do you ever hear me talk about mafia? I say them very fewly. Irish Mafia got me into a liquor warehouse in Elk Grove Village. Does Elk Grove Village liquor warehouse have a name? No, it doesn't. Was there a location I went to? Yes, Roosevelt and Ashland. Union Hall to talk to the Irish man who doesn't have a name either. And there was a lot of mistakes I made in my previous banned YouTube account where I said a lot of names and made a lot of mistakes. I've blocked probably 5,000 of people on WhatsApp and WhatsApp Business. Did that for fun. My motivation was to be a motivational speaker and to learn about all the scams that exist out there. Yeah, when I hear noises, I make sure they're the right ones. But silence is what you should be afraid of. Now, MODs, do you see any teardrops on me? I don't even have any tattoos that represent MODs. Now, I used to have one. It was literally MOD with the pitchfork and the D in Old English, MOD in Old English. And then I changed that to Mark Loves Debbie when I decided to stop gaming at the age of 18 when I got caught with 2 bags of marijuana. Cops, so nice, the Texas especially. They pulled us kids over, me and the other man I can't find, whose name I could do public because it doesn't matter because he's on house arrest, so you can't even find his fucking address. Jesus Rouzo in Arizona. I can't fucking find them online because the government makes it impossible for you to find them online. It would be nice if one of you guys all of a sudden put a comment on my YouTube saying that's the only way to get a hold of me. Because if you message me on comment on YouTube about finding Jesus Razo and saying, can we please have a phone call? Thinking before I speak. I can obviously delete this or edit it. I do not talk about Mexico. I went to Mexico twice as a tourist. That's it. And I don't go to inside Mexico. It was outside Mexico. I think it was Cozumel and the other one was Bahamas and whatever. It was part of a cruise ship when I was with my ex-wife. My ex-wife is dating a black man. I could care less. It's her decisions. I actually want her to be happy. I threatened her for full custody because she took full custody away from me. Her idea of taking the father away from our son was stupid of her. My son, who I saw for 2 days this past weekend, because I think she finally woke up and is giving me 2 days every 2 weeks, is so that I don't sue her for full custody and I only sue her for 50-50. That's a decision I will fucking make later. Now, wrong to strong, I love that nigga and I never met him. He's Mexican, that's why I love this motherfucker. Now, I'm the incorrect kind of pastor because I was swearing the fucking church. And would I be the best pastor in the world? You better fucking believe it. Because I would know how to educate gangbangers to stop gangbanging. Now, post-traumatic stress disorder is the number one thing that comes out of being a maniac Latin disciple. I could talk about GDs and BDs and YLODs that was from KW, Keystone and Wabanza, all the way to Keystone and Cortland, where I'm from. And that was the second Twilight Zone, which one day I told Ron the Strong, you wrong for that, for not saying that's the second Twilight Zone, because that's what the fuck it was. So that neighborhood got so hot. For what reason, I don't understand, because it was hot when I was there. In the 90s, gangs are completely different than what they are today. We're talking about silence. Now, in the 90s, it was all about the traditional gang names. Gangster Disciples, Black Disciples, YLODs, PWDs, MLDs, 2SDs, Spanish Disciples, and Satan Disciples. So, let's say I was to die today. It would be unfortunate if you get into a car accident with me and my father, because I can't even afford a fucking Honda Civic. 2013 black Honda Civic. I just decided to give up when I was in a psych ward because I was spending like $1,000 a month just to keep that motherfucker. And when you smoke marijuana, it's not a drug like my ex-wife thinks it is. It's a fucking medical plant. She's stupid. She's obviously never done it, never even smoked a cigarette. I loved her for those reasons. When she drank, I've never ever once saw her drunk. I've been with her since 9/11, on and off, since I dated the hottest bitch at the mortgage company. She lied to me about fucking this other people, this one guy who's people, I'm folks. And when you're an OG, people and folks get along. When you're gangbanging, people and folks, it's impossible. Now, when I was in a psych ward, the guy befriended me. Was it his real name? Was it his fake name? I have no fucking idea. Was he a felon? Maybe he was. He had the wrong tattoos. He had a heart, was it a rose here and a rose here or something of that nature? And then another rose here. And then he put a fake pitchfork the government gave him to prove that he knew Head Dog, which I don't even know who the fuck Head Dog is. If I was to die in a car accident, if I was to be killed in the chest, if you were to shoot and kill me, because I would throw up pitchforks to the day I fucking die. You're going to have a Latin King issue. I'm my best friend, Latin King on my left side. And you're going to have an MLD governor on my right side. Now, none of them are trying to do 3 to life. The Latin King is proud of saying that he fucking stopped drug dealing 21 years ago. My governor, he stopped drug dealing too, because he ain't trying to do 3 to life. Because what the fuck? I mean, they're both grandparents. Um, I'm gonna be a grandparent one day. I have a 7-year-old son. That's something I made public. I have fraudulent AT&T account. All of a sudden, it turned from one account into two accounts. Or it turned into 3 phone numbers into 5 phone numbers. Now, was that fraud from all the stuff that my governor was telling me about that I put public on here? Possible. But I think it was just the government fucking with me, to be honest. They were trying to see if I can go ahead and get 5 phone numbers, get $1,000 AT&T bill all of a sudden, and just have the money for pay for it. I gave the first asshole FI that befriended me in the psych ward. There was 3 FIs in there. There was one talking about investments because I was Series 6 and 63 licensed on Chase, something I put on online. Then they knew I was Mexican and Puerto Rican because of something I did online. So if you want to drug deal, do not be on social media. Do not give your private information because it's used against you. Silent. So then what he did was, since I came out of the psych ward and I just didn't fucking just decide to dial 911 on the person I wanted to have very severe issues with, those videos have been deleted from this account by my sister while I was in a psych ward because my dad couldn't figure it out. And the last thing we're going to show it to is my little sister. More public information that I have 2 sisters. Now, I speak Spanish. Anyway, long story short, he befriended me, showed up at my apartment door, which is impossible to do here. But there's a lot of assholes that just let you in if they believe you live here. So I believe that he was able to get here. Definitely walk through the front door, but the second door is much harder to get through. So it's obviously the government that just let them in. They can walk into my apartment the moment I leave and put whatever bug they want in here. I think they tried to follow the laws, like the one lighter that was stolen from me. They had him buy another lighter and give it to me because that would be breaking the law. They had to confess that they were going to put boxing gloves and a tape cassette inside my apartment because if they don't confess it and I see it, I'll just throw it away. I remained silent in my apartment with those items in my crib, in my apartment, because it's easy as fuck to find out where I live. It's the last projects that exist on Northwest Side. Montana 300, he's got another fucking thing coming. Now, he's folks. I will never, ever, ever say the wrong words about BDs or GDs. I love folks. We are more till we fucking die. And those niggas, they put teardrops on their face and they carry Glocks, 30 clips, and, you know, they don't care about being felons. You can lock them up a dozen times. They don't give a fuck because they're fucking silent. The FBI finds a way to go ahead and put medicine into your body to make you irate to the point I wanted to kill my father, my sister, and my brother-in-law. That's the kind of medicine they give you. I'll continue to call it medicine even though it's just a truth serum. There was no truth for me to give because the man I had an issue with told me he had a beef with some other people. And you know how many questions I asked him? How many assumptions I made? Thousands. Probably 100, probably in the tens. Because I don't fucking lie, that's why. We will be in your fucking face gangbanging, throwing up the pitchforks, saying maniac, psycho. And then whatever gang they're against, you know, I'm not even going to say it out loud. You know, the one that they told me they were against, I was really upset. They said, GDK. I was like, what the fuck, man? You know, folks are always fighting folks. People are always fighting people. Folks and people barely kill each other. That's the sad part. Considering they're in 2 different genres. if they were to kill each other, it would have to be out of a fucking amazing, extraordinary, out of the ordinary war. Um, they don't do people again, folks, wars, because Chirac would go under. Um, the amount of guns that are in Chicago, Illinois, this is about silence. The amount of guns that are in Chicago, Illinois are countless. The amount of Ford gun holders, countless. The amount of Ford gun holders that want to make a profit and sell it to an OG that can give it to a gangbanger, countless. They just grind off their phone numbers. They take the gun apart, grind it all down, then sell it. These two motherfuckers that shot these white people on North Avenue right by Humboldt Park, right in front of fucking Humboldt Park. I've told you white people I don't know how many times to knock out on Humboldt Park. You want to go jogging, you think it's Central Park, you're fucking deaf, dumb, and blind idiots. Deaf, dumb, and blind idiots. Deaf, dumb, and blind idiots. Say it 3 times for sales techniques. Now, if you think it's smart to go jogging or go to festivals in Humboldt Park surrounded by police, if you think it's smart, and they don't give a fuck about police, because they don't give a fuck about getting locked up and going to county. Because when you're folks in county, you're surrounded by family. Amor. That's how MLDs finish their conversation. Amor. That's love. And, you know, I try to show love to my governor all the time. I try to teach them things, legal here, legal this, legal that, like cigarette, how to make cigarettes and sell them, you know, $1 a piece if niggas need it. Here I can sell them $1 a piece. I have a sole proprietorship. This one to turn into LLC. Should probably be an LLC for me, or am I rapping? Do I look like I give a fuck? You know, I don't have money. I'm broke as fuck. I have zero money in my no account. You know, the government decided to go ahead and close down my account the day I'm supposed to receive my disability. Again, you don't fuck with the government. I refuse to call their 3-letter name out of respect. Real talk. Pausing. The reason I will never go into the inside of Mexico. Anyway, he gave me a tequila bottle that had the truth serum in it. I collapsed on the floor for 2 hours. Then he took off and pretended he had to go see his girlfriend at 6 o'clock after he found out I collapsed. And then the government told him that this other man with this nice car was leaving. A Jewish man, by the way. And you know, so then I can get a threatening attitude and then want to pull out, you know, stuff that I would never do in front of anybody. They saw all the weapons around my crib, all the manual weapons, all the knives, wrenches, all over my apartment. To this day, I walk around silent. They saw everything in my apartment, so they know who I am. Now they know I'm an aggravated arsonist. That was an expunged record, which for whatever reason I don't understand why the FBI can't look those expunged records up. Kicks D didn't know I was an aggravated arsonist. The other FI didn't know I was an aggravated arsonist. Kicks D is the FI, so if he comes to your crib, he's an FI. He's on one of my old YouTube videos. The only motherfucker that went public. I have a picture of both of them sleeping in my crib, especially the first FI with the real name or fake name. That guy decides to go ahead and live in Illinois. I plan on running for the mayor of Chicago. I'm going to have Navy SEALs around my body. If they just want to have police around me, I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to continue to have Navy SEALs around me as well. I love Navy SEAL 6. 6 is my lucky number, being an MLD. Now, silence. The reason I wouldn't go to the inside of Mexico is because there is an MLD that I know of that has a nickname. And he decided to go to Mexico. He was probably into hustling. That's a secret word. And he decided to go to Mexico and probably cause a beef. He got assassinated while he was out there. Um, Assassinations for gangbangers is normal. Assassinations for the government, normal. Assassinations for the DEA, normal. Assassinations for the CPD, normal. Assassinations for the fire department and ambulances when they show up, normal. Assassination for the military, serial killers. Um, they are the only legal serial killers in this entire world. Now, normal serial killers, like the clown face from Des Plaines, I refuse to use his fucking name. Des Plaines, Illinois. He decided to go ahead and play with kids, with clowns. Clown this, clown that, clown this, clown that, clown this, clown that. How many people he raped, molested, and killed, I have no idea. I refuse to Google that as well. I refuse to Google a lot of things. I refuse to Google social media, how to get rid of the fucking comments on my live when I'm on Instagram live, because I want to learn that the hard way. That's the only thing I learned the hard way. I Google research everything else. My phone, not my phone, my TV is usually black unless I'm forcing myself to watch Narcos Mexico. Um, I want to watch it 3 times because it's half of six by times 2 is 12 and goes into 18. I hate the number 18 because that's when I stopped gaming. I got violated by Big Charlie when I was 15, knocked out by Lucifer because I called this lady a bitch. Saw Lucifer years later at Export and on the street. And went to that Export, saw him, and he saw me. And you could tell that nigga got nervous right away. 1, because he knocked me the fuck out. 2, because he wasn't gang banging no more. 3, he didn't know who the fuck I was. To the day. He didn't know if I was a massive drug dealer or killer or whatever the fuck he thought I was. So when I came up to him, you could tell all he kept saying from the beginning was, "No, I ain't about that no more. I ain't about that no more. I ain't about that no more. I'm into this business." I was like, "All right, cool, we good." Then I worked out with my cousin, and then dude finished working out. He left. I don't give a fuck, I was not about killing that motherfucker. I ain't about killing D's from my hood, KC. Now, my complication is thinking about my rap career. If you don't think I'm gonna be the Montana 300 or Northwest, you're dead fucking wrong. I'm gonna be on a record label and not be able to say D's no more, not be able to throw up the pitchfork no more. Not be able to say Black Disciple, Gangster Disciple, YLODs, PBDs, MLDs, SDs. I'm not gonna be able to say those things. I'm gonna have a Latin King best friend on my left side and a MLD governor best friend on my right side, and it's gonna be complicated for me to come out as Fats D like Cardi B is a blood. And, Migos are bloods. There's so many bloods that are rappers. So many vice lords that are rappers like the Wu-Tang Clan. Crips, Snoop Dogg, etc. Now, Snoop Dogg, as a man, OG, will be Crip the rest of his life. You assassinate him, you're going to have trouble with Crips. Now, with the government. Because the Crips will get you before the government does. Silence. So anyway, they assassinated that one guy in Mexico, which is another reason I will never go to Mexico City, for example. You'll never find me in Tijuana or Juarez, Sinaloa especially. The number one drug dealer that was in Narcos 1 or 2, Mexico. He went to prison the rest of his life. Mexico prison doesn't count. It's not a real prison for cartel leaders. That's why they're against extradition. That's why Pablo Escobar went through what he went through in Medellin, the city that thought it would protect him, but they used this ancient technology to find him. Today, the modern technology that we have, stare at Tesla, stare at their spycrafts, stare at Amazon.com, stare at the third billionaire that wants to go to Mars. We need those people. We're only 7,000 to 8,000 years old as human beings. And, all right, you don't want to believe me. Then you don't believe in the Ice Age either, or the movie. Okay. So that didn't happen 10,000 years ago either? Okay. You didn't think that us inventing cars in 1908 was a good idea? It was a fantastic idea. Everybody loves cars still today. That's why I think the vaccine was not the vaccine, probably the vaccine, but the virus was created in China by very important people. And it's dangerous to say who I think it is. And I believe it was created by them for population control because there's apartments the size of 3 feet by 6 feet. Basically a bed to sleep in and a place to shower. That's the poverty-stricken parts of China. There's farmlands. They live off the lands. Me continuing to be silent in this conversation is quite difficult. I'm pausing and looking away to think. I defriended a pastor from, was it Kenya or Uganda? Kenya, who lived 400 kilometers away from the beach. I told him I was going to go visit him. I told him I was going to bring the entire church to the United States to get them vaccinated. I was going to find out if I have to just buy the vaccines or if I have to recruit a nurse to come to my apartment and give out 100 vaccines. It was only 70 vaccines. They're free here, but I would have brought them. But they fucked up. I gave him 1 strike, 2 strikes, and a 3rd strike he was out because he would continue to blow up my phone and not allow me to be on a phone call. And I told him not to do that over and over again. So he did it, so he lost me. The other guy in Uganda, another poverty-stricken area, I don't think they live off the land as much as Kenya does. I believe they're a more municipal environment. And I believe the poverty is buying tons of food for all the orphans. Now, because I'm a gangbanger OG, I'm a gangbanger OG till I die. And that's who's going to run for the mayor of the city of Chicago. Now, difficult. Not only am I being tracked by the government, not only am all my private information public, not only am I having fraud on my AT&T account, not only did I lose my Chase account, government found every way to mess with me, and they're going to continue to do it. So me running for the mayor of the city of Chicago is actually quite stupid. Because why would I do that? Why should I do this? My motivation will not end because the first murder I witnessed as a child, 9 years old, is the first murder I witnessed. Second one was at 12, riding my bike home from Hermosa Park. I've said that before. You people don't subscribe to my channel. I don't know why. It's weird. I don't get it. The analytics tells me how many thousands of people are watching my shit, but it shows like I got 10 views and it's like 100. I don't get it. I mean, I get why Google does it because they want it to look like you have a lot less views. The analytics tells me the complete difference. I know the ages of people that like my stuff. 90% of it. I'm sorry. The analytics shows me the ages. So 20s, 30s, 40s. And then 50s it slows down, 60s it slows down. For for the men that want to see my motivational speaking. The women, for whatever reason, are into my entertainment or into my rapping. I feel like women should be motivational speaking a lot more than men, to be honest. You women know more than men do. You're smarter than us in a lot of ways. But for whatever reason, I guess you just don't act like you are. I don't know why. My ex-wife was not a drunk damn sure not a drug addict. That's why I loved her. I lost her. I tried to get her back. I don't know how many times. Even though she's dating and sleeping with another man, you know, I still tried to get her back and say I would date him and I would date her. You know, she can date both of us, but she still didn't take me back. There's a lot of reasons why I want 100% custody, because she stole 100% custody from me. You should never steal your son's father away from him. That was a bad mistake she made. Very bad. And I told her, you're lucky I'm upset and not mad. Because when I'm mad, I'm a different motherfucker. Now, you have to realize all this is going to be held against me running for mayor. You have to realize that I'm a rock star salesman and highly intelligent. You have to realize that the government is investigating me and it's going to be a pain in the fucking ass to do any kind of business I want to do. You have to understand that my friends and family do not pick up my phone calls. My favorite family, especially. Governor will take my call because he knows I'm silent, and he's silent. He knows I'm smart. He's smart. YBO, GBO on house arrest, highly intelligent, extremely motivated man that should just be investing in real estate the rest of his life and remodeling homes and flipping them for profit. He should have did that a long time ago. Chiva D, may he rest in peace. Another best friend of mine that died. YBO, GBO were telling me he died of a heart attack. Governor would say he died of a CPAP machine he didn't want to own and use every day. People dying in our lives is normal. People getting killed in our lives is normal. When I was in the psych ward, one of my police officer best friends lost his wife because of a blood clot, and wouldn't accept my father to go over there and do his healings from the Silver Method and Mind Valley Institute because of the pandemic. You know, you're not going to risk making my wife sick with the coronavirus, COVID-19, which now is the Omicron or some shit. Something I refuse to Google. Omicron. Before that, it was the N word, something with the N. It was Delta variant before that. COVID-19 before that. You know, I've had 3 shots because I'm asthma and diabetic because I don't fucking lie. And I went to the pharmacy that I normally go to so that they have my meds on file so that they know I deserve the 3rd shot because I don't fucking lie. Silence. Do not trust white people to be silent. Men, for example, locked up one of my guys. Over 9 ounces of perico he got locked up for, which is cocaine if you don't know Spanish. And that's public with him and his file. And, you know, I spoke to a nigga from my governor's hood that I befriended, became friends with on Facebook. And he's like, yo, I know you from school? I was like, nah, I went to this school and that school. He was like, oh, no, I didn't go to that school. I was like, well, do you know this guy? I used my governor's name. He was like, yeah, I know him. I'm like, boom, 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 Chiva D, da la la, R.I.P. He was like, oh, what's up? He's like, I'm from this neighborhood and that neighborhood. I'm like, well, I'm from this neighborhood and that neighborhood. He's like, oh, that was something on Fast D. And he's like, oh, cool. And we finished the conversation with Amor. And I told him during the conversation, I'm like, MODs don't ask questions, why the fuck you got locked up? He's like, back and forward. I ain't asking you shit. That's how MODs talk. We don't get teardrops. If you don't think MODs have been in shootings, you're dead fucking wrong. Now, MODs are silent. They love wearing hoodies because it's part of our tradition. I don't know the lit because that was from a long fucking time ago, which is literature. It's a prayer for the maniac Latin disciples. The young ones, no. The niggas that been to prison had to keep that memory up. Silent. I'm remaining silent. You know, Jesus Razo, for example, you can Google him in Arizona, you'll see his face. I put his Facebook, I put his face online a couple times to see if anybody knows him on Facebook, but apparently nobody knows him out there. Um, Ironic is Ron to Strong stays in Arizona too, probably Phoenix, um, just to keep it metropolitan a little bit. If not, he's in a rural area. Um, if you guys want to go visit Mexico, this is what I highly recommend. I highly recommend you do not fly to Mexico. I highly recommend you take a cruise ship to Mexico. Now, the idiot whites that come from California, that go to Tijuana to get pills, okay, you look white, which means they think you have money, which means it's very easy for them to want to kidnap you for a ransom. You want to get that for what? Pain pills or Xanax? Whatever stupid shit you can't get in California? I don't know how much marijuana you can get in California, but it's got to be a lot more than the 30 grams that you can get in Illinois legally. I haven't smoked marijuana since I can even fucking remember. Probably since I've been with the FIs, because it really upset me. Made me mad, actually. That one made me mad. Oscar, if I ever seen his fucking face again, especially if I become a mayor of Chicago, it's probably going to be impossible the first time, especially on the investigation. But my mentality is to have it done the first time, because that's my sales mentality. Being a pastor saying God damn it would be stupid, but I got Jesus Christ on my left arm. I ain't gonna show it for the 15,000th time. Gang tattoos for MODs, OGs from the 90s is stupid. We don't like to present to law enforcement who the fuck we are. Today, MODs, they probably just love tats and probably just got a bunch of them, but if they're smart MODs, they don't get tattoos at MODs. They just wear hoodies that are haunted horns, which is like this. And pitchforks, obviously, like this. My Latin King best friend is like this. Do I wish to be killed? Of course not, because I have a son. My father will survive, my sister will survive, everybody else will survive. Do I want to die for my son? No, I don't. Am I suicidal? Yes, I am. If somebody wants to kill me, they're actually doing me a favor. The other FI, beside Kicks D and the other name, was the lady I got marijuana from, German and Indian. She has a name too. She lives in my building. She has an apartment number 2. And she made a mistake of introducing herself to Kicks D, who I didn't know was the FI at the time. I thought he was just from KC and happened to know the other guy that I knew from the psych ward. I was tricked. And if you don't think the FBI knows how to trick you, they know how to trick you, especially put you on the medication, truth serum. And I yelled at my father the other day. I'm like, I was put on a truth serum, right? He's like, no, you didn't do that. That didn't happen. I was like, now I explained to him a bunch of things. And I also explained to him there's a lot of things I could never ever fucking tell you, and you're my father. The only thing I explained was the whole psych ward experience and the whole experience here in my apartment. And that I collapsed to the floor for 2 hours and et cetera, et cetera. Made me to the point I wanted to kill him, my sister, and my brother-in-law. That's how strong that shit is. Made me have the most vicious panic attack, because I guess I talked about panic attacks somewhere on my social media. They control the medicine, the fucking truth serum, to destroy every bad part of you. So if they know you get panic attacks, they give you the strongest panic attack found. He gave me the tequila bottle that he kept for DNA. They probably got my DNA in the psych ward, so I don't know why they needed it a second time, but I guess they wanted it again, just to make sure it's the right DNA. And he kept the tequila bottle, took it home with him. He took my bottle and put the tequila bottle next to me, gave it to me so I could do another shot. And then instead of doing a shot, I'm like, fuck that, I'm finna drink all of this. He's like, no, you finna drink all of that? No, don't do that. I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, all right, nigga, you want a shot? Go ahead, take it back. I just thought he was being my friend, you know? I was completely tricked. And I was like, no, here it is. So whatever, he went behind his bag. He always carried a fucking bag. That should have been a suspicion for me. But I was tricked. And so he took the tequila bottle back and then went to his fucking bag again, I guess, because I was in a rap mood and just smoking marijuana, which does not make me drunk and does not make my brain stop thinking. And he would smoke marijuana with me. Another thing they wouldn't do is I had these 6 papers of rolling marijuana separated, which I did not taint with psychological drugs. You know, stupid. You know, I did not taint. I just did 6 because it's kicks D. And the other guy was a fake MOD to me, even with his fucking pitchfork and knowing head dog. Because if you're a fucking MOD in Cook County, that doesn't even make sense, number one. Number two, you didn't want me to violate you, let alone go to Arch and Avis, which I recommended to him. So I'm like, that's just weird. Number three, he sounded and came off like a neutron. So if you're an MOD inside the joint, like, how the fuck do you even sound like a neutron? He's obviously from the suburbs. She's from Chicago. I'd be surprised, but I mean, it's possible. You know, the fact that he wanted to be a federal informant for an OG like me, you know, the videos I deleted, you would understand why I'm being investigated. I'm probably not investigated anymore, to be honest with you. I think it's over. They got everything they could from me. CPD's been in my apartment. I lost the amount of times. You know, there's, okay. La M is the Mexican mafia. Now, I never ever talk about them. If you whites are in a bar in Wrigleyville having fun and you're deciding to talk about the most famous Mexican here in the United States living in New York in the federal prison, probably on the top floor, I highly recommend against it, because his cousin might be sitting next to you and you don't even know it. Or a white guy might be connected to him and you don't even know it. Especially Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, and blacks. Do we have Dominicans and Mexicans? Whatever's barely any Cubans in Chicago, but there are Cuban restaurants. Puerto Rican restaurants have opened and closed in Chicago all the way to Joliet, where I worked. You know, all that will be held against me running for mayor. The government being on my ass, that will be held against me as well. Running for mayor is so stupid to do that right now. But do I look like I give a fuck? Now, they have my DNA, they got my prints, concealed carry prints as well. Let's say that, silent, think. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that either. You know what, people, do yourselves a fucking favor, subscribe to my goddamn channel. If you don't want to, whatever. I gotta buy 1,000 subscribers. So sad. Either I gotta buy it from somebody on Instagram, or I could care less about getting 20,000 followers on Instagram right away, but if I have 100,000 or 60,000 or 200,000, 600,000 or 1 million, then I'm able to do live broadcasts and send a request to have certain people come live. I want to say 29 out of 30 people I talk to about video chatting me on Instagram just ignore the question. I only had one lady today try to video chat me, and I wanted to see if it was just another scam, another video bullshit. So I called her back. She hasn't called me back. So maybe she's at work, or maybe she's just full of shit. It's easy for a street smart nigga to tell he's being scammed. It's easy for a salesman smart nigga to be scammed. And it's easy for a nigga with a traumatic brain injury that became a brainiac that does calculus and algebra and geometry all of a sudden and was allergic to math when he was in high school. I swear to God, I feel like I had a surgery done on me so I could become president of the United States, but what do I know? The fact that I ended up in Peoria, which is 3 hours from Chicago, to sleep with whoever, makes no sense. Or to go to a massage therapy, especially if it was for that, that would make even less fucking sense, considering they're all over Illinois. One of the security guards was asking me about a bunch of questions. He's playing cards with me, because I guess they learned I love to play cards when I talked about Texas Hold'em and getting the fucking cards. So they teach me garbage. So this one guy was teaching me garbage, security guy. And I know the security knew who the fuck I was and why I'm there. So he was asking me a bunch of questions. Oh, what about this? What about that? I'm like, you give a shit? And the only thing I told him about was about the massage therapy place I went to by 55 and on another street with the name. And I'm sure the government went to go find out if that was mine, see if I'm getting paid off of that. And they found out it wasn't me, and they're just paying off the government to go ahead and keep it open. Because it's 100% sex, blowjobs. Amount of money you give is how many amount of women you get. Do I have intentions to sleep with a prostitute? Hell motherfucking no. Have I slept with a prostitute before? Hell motherfucking yes. If you believe your husband hasn't slept with a prostitute, okay. If you believe celebrities haven't slept with prostitutes, okay. If you believe your government officials hasn't slept with prostitutes, you're wrong. Most silent people in the world is the government. Second to that are Freemasons. Third to that are gangbangers. Fourth to that are whites. Do not trust white men. They trick on OGs and MODs and gangbangers. So if you settle whites, several things are going to happen. They're going to get caught selling cocaine, for example. This one example I know about, with the 9 ounces of cocaine, and lived in the suburbs. Total fucking neutron. Meaning neutron is not a science thing, meaning they're neutral to people or folks. They're not gangbangers. I know that people don't even know what the OG word means. Original gangsters. Like, you people don't know shit. It's fucking neutrons. Neutrons piss me off half the time. Silence. I'm thinking. Do not ever threaten the life of an OG. Do not ever threaten the life of a current gangbanger. The truth serum made me so psychotic, I gangbanged for 3 days. I got violated once and asked them to violate me every day because I love pain. Half the time I don't even feel it. There was this one time where I got into this guy grabbed me by my neck, my son's birthday, and I'm thinking, grabbed me by my neck on my son's birthday and said, "You weren't faithful to my ex-wife, blah blah blah," and then he started getting even more aggressive with me. So then I pushed him off me, smacked him in the fucking face with my right hand, because that's what MODs do before we beat the fuck out of you. I gotta be quiet with this one. So anyway, he started to come towards me, uh, collapsed me, had me on the ground, and I started to do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu on him. And I had his head cranked to the point where I was going to choke him to death. And so I had his head cranked, or he was throwing fists at my brain, and I didn't feel shit. It felt like a tap. Um, I was either gonna break his neck or break his arm first, uh, before my decision was to do worse in front of my son and my immediate family. He decided to wait for all the Christians to leave first to do this, then all his entire family to leave first. He made that mistake. I have no desire to kill him because that's family to my ex-wife. I would never kill my ex-wife's family unless I had to. The man dating her, I saw a t-shirt she was wearing, so I believe I know who he is and what he's a part of. I don't give a fuck about that either. Because if he ever does something wrong to my son, or my DNA, my prints on fire, I don't give a fuck. That's why. So you better be nice to my son. Because my ex-wife is a one and done type of lady. So I know she's going to marry him. I just wanted to know answer to one question. Does he have kids? I got the answer. That's all I wanted to know. Could give a fuck if he's black. It's her decision to be with whoever she wants to be with. She left me after my car accident. We had zero sex. All of a sudden, she caught me smoking weed in the bathroom, threw me out, called an Uber for me to get delivered to my dad's crib, and stayed at my dad's crib. I just decided to they went on vacation. I was okay. I was smoking marijuana every day, smoking cigarettes every day. So I was in a lot of pain with my broken arm that took forever to get healed. And I lost track of how long it took to get healed for the government to use this against me. And do I think for 9 to 12 months that my stepsister, Chicago police officer, is going to have trouble becoming an FBI agent? Yes, especially with a stepbrother like me. Do I believe the FBI got everything they got from me? Yes, but they might do it to me again. Will I have my own water bottles with me? Yes, but they'll just put a needle in it and just poison it. I can't trust the government, and they can't trust me. So, them having my DNA and my fingerprints, they're probably going to set up situations that are going to look bad for my family to see if I'll go to that level after they give me the truth serum. When that one issue happened with the last FI. So it's 1, 2, 3 in the psych ward, 4 here with Kicks D, and then the 5th one was the one here. So she was wrong to say, oh, my son has guns. And do I look afraid of that? And, when you're suicidal, you're a lot of things. When you're MLD, you're a lot of fucking things. My history is a lot of fucking things my dad will never come out of my mouth. My dad will never hear come out of my mouth. I don't ask OGs questions. They don't ask me questions. I don't ask my governor questions. He doesn't ask me questions. We basically don't ask each other questions. Our questions are family related and family related only. How's your mom? How's your dad? How's your sister? Blah, blah, blah. Boom, boom, boom. That's how OGs talk. I don't need to know why the nigga from his hood got locked up. The last thing I want to know is to ask a question. You don't ask questions because you don't want to find out the answers because you put yourself in a court case. Now you're getting locked up. The last FI with the guns, he either got locked up before and had them illegally, or had a Ford card and had them legally. So I guess I was supposed to be threatened since I knew he had guns. And then he threatened my life, said he was going to come to my apartment in 10 or 15 minutes. He didn't even know my fucking apartment on them. There's a lot of apartments here. So I had to sit down. I didn't even run away. I was just sitting down thinking. I was like, well, should I call the MODs I was gangbanging with, or should I just, because I stopped gangbanging with them anyway, and I told them, man, I'm finna leave. You want me to call my governor right now? I'll call him right now. I never once called my governor the whole fucking time. I didn't even need to get violated the first time. I asked for that shit. And to this day, I don't want no gang tattoos on me. I have to fight that every day of my life. I'm gonna get professional religious tattoos put on me by a professional tattoo artist I know of. He retired because of the pandemic, so I was pissed off about that. There was this one dancer I was following. She met this Puerto Rican man of all people. She a white bitch. So I was like, damn, of course there's gotta be a fucking Puerto Rican. God damn, salty. And salty is a slang word. And salty means son of a bitch. And so anyway, the last guy, he had guns or whatever, and I was sitting here thinking, I was like, well, I don't know how the fuck he would know my apartment. He could know my floor I live on. Why the fuck could he know my apartment? So, well, he could run through the hallways and be yelling my name. As psychotic as I am, I'll just come out. Like, let me think about this. He said he was gonna come in and he's hooked up too. How the fuck does he know I'm really hooked up? And I think it was a text message I said. I'm like, look, I'm hooked up to both, to the left and the right. I'm like, besides my Mexican family in Texas, who I've never been introduced to, I'm connected 3 ways. So, you kill me, you're gonna have a serious fucking problem. Not only with my 100% Mexican family, which you should already know what the fuck that means. If you don't know what the fuck that means, I don't even know why you're watching this. And besides the left and the right side that I'm connected to, it's just like, man, fuck it, man. I'm suicidal. Just have it done. And I was thinking about it. I was like, man, I don't know if this is bullshit or this is real shit. Would a neutron be that connected? Selling weed? I don't know, man. That don't sound right. And I don't know he was a neutron because I met him in the elevator. He taller than me. I could give a fuck. I was waiting for him to pull out a gun so I could cut his throat. And because I didn't want him to kill Kicks D, who was having a conversation with him, talking about asthma, the fake asthma Kicks D had. Because the government uses everything against you to try to trick you and get you befriended. So anyway, I ended up lying on Instagram that day saying, oh, this happened, but I didn't do nothing. What I ended up doing was calling the police to go to the mother's apartment. And so several things must have happened from there. Either the guy didn't have a FOID card and got arrested, or was going to get arrested for having illegal guns, or had a FOID card. And because I knew he had guns, they were going to use him against me for the tax evasion of selling marijuana. Who knows? I could care less. She saw me the other day. She was coming off the elevator and I was going into it. And she saw me and just kept walking. She probably found out what I was being investigated for. It's not a nice thing, but I was being investigated for. So anyway, I called the police. The police came to my crib for I don't know how many times. I'm in it with this. First Amendment is to do the first thing that I did. That's the reason I'm in investigation. I think the investigation is over, to be honest with you, but the the rest of my life I will act like it's continuing. Not for a year, for the rest of my life. And my whole life I've acted that way anyway. I'm not going to tell you how I met my governor. And the Fifth Amendment is the last thing I'm going to leave you with. CPD comes to my crib for 1,000 more times, and they ask me questions, they're going to get zero answers. I would have to be kidnapped, put on a truth serum, and tortured by the government. And I believe that's illegal. So I don't think that's going to happen. So do they do that? Fuck if I know. Technology that they have, none of us know. If you work for the government, then you know. If you don't know who the government is, this whole conversation, just stop following me right now. I'm not even going to bother asking to subscribe to my channel, because every time I do it, nothing happens. I think once I get it monetized and I have 1,000 from paying Google ads, then from there it'll get, it'll explode, it'll increase. I'll be able to go live and rap, I'll be able to go live and act. I have a photographic memory, traumatic brain injury gave me that, and it gave me the ability to do calculus, which is astounding to me. Fifth Amendment, Fifth fucking Amendment.